So hi again everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about my weight loss journey and how I went from this to this. Basically I'm going to split this into 3 different parts so that it's digestible and there's actually some context behind it as well. So the first part I'm going to be talking about my story basically and my weight gain and what led me to want to lose weight. And then in the second part I'm basically going to talk about what I actually did to lose the weight. And then in the third part I'm going to talk about my future and how I kind of want to work on my weight and my fitness journey I guess moving forward. So, before we start, a really quick disclaimer. I'm obviously not any medical professional, I'm not a personal trainer, so please do take everything I say with a grain of salt, basically. This worked for me, it might not work for you, and obviously I'm no pro, so if what I say goes against anything that you know, then sorry about that, but it worked for me. So also, I guess just in terms of like triggering topics, I'm obviously going to be talking about like fat shaming and things like that, so if any of that is going to be triggering to you or anything to do with like weight or eating, then please do click off the video and watch something else, and I'll hopefully catch you next time. Okay, so to actually get into my story, it's a little bit interesting because basically for me, I was actually an athlete. I was basically doing like 100 meters, relay, all of that fun stuff, like you name it, I did it. I was doing a lot of that. I love sport, I still do to be honest, but when I hit university, I kind of stopped doing it as much. I basically just decided to prioritize other things, my weight not being one of them. So I'm at uni now and obviously life continues lifing, and then boom, COVID hits. Yay! My weight takes an even like further pummel basically because okay, I'd already gained weight, a little bit of weight from not really doing much exercise at university, but then when COVID hit, it just like multiplied, so I was like at my largest basically. So now obviously at some point COVID starts to loosen up the restrictions a little bit, so now people can see me. We see some people coming to my house just to like pick up something or drop something, and then I'm also going to church. My fellow African people, I'm sure you already know where this is going, but let me continue anyway and get into it. So obviously people who are used to seeing me slim are gonna be very confused by seeing me now because obviously you haven't seen anyone in a while. Most people actually surprisingly more or less look the same, but for me obviously there was like a massive difference in how I looked, so people were very shocked to say the least. My friends would at least try to tell me like you're not big or like you haven't really gained that much weight. This was actually before COVID even hit as well. They were trying to tell me like you're not that big, you haven't really gained much weight. But like I am a self-aware person, so like I knew I had gained weight. Like my clothes weren't fitting the same way that they used to fit. I also just could like physically see in my face, like my face structure is very like this, but like the weight, even though it was still kind of like this, it was like there was a bit of like roundness to it, you know, like I could just see clearly that I had gained weight, okay, like it was not a secret to me. Anywho, of course, to cut a very long story short, I'm in church now, I'm minding my business as I usually do, and people of course have to come and tell me,
oh wow Tolu, you've put on so much weight, oh wow Tolu, you're so big, Tolu this, Tolu that,
all about my weight, like nothing really to say to me besides comment. Okay, actually no, let me not say that. People would say things to me, but then obviously somehow my weight would just find itself in the equation. I wouldn't have to even say anything about my weight, nothing about my weight at all. People would just have something to say about it, and I'm like, mind your business. Like I literally don't understand why people have to comment on other people's weight, especially if you know they're not actually asking for it. It would be so different if I had come up to you now and said, look, I've been working out, can you see a difference? Or I've been trying to put on weight, can you see a difference? But I have said nothing about my weight, so why are you commenting on my weight? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, not even anyway, here's the thing, right, okay, to even add to this, sorry, I have a lot to get off my chest. Basically, I just don't understand, I can't even English right now because I'm starting to get re-annoyed because the pain I was feeling, this is a thing that people don't talk about, when you've been slim and then you gain weight, like when you've been slim your whole life basically and then you gain weight, because I did not realize like the pain that comes with being big. Like I just did, people are mad, like they'll actually just say anything to you, they'll treat you any sort of way just because you have a bit of, I don't even know what to call it, energy on you, I guess, let me put it like that. So yeah, this was just like a whole experience for me and I did not like one bit of it. Like honestly, respect to anyone who's grown up big, respect to anyone who's big now, because it's not easy out here. It's actually not easy. And even the weight that I did have, I think the reason why people were telling me, oh Tolu, like you're not that big, is because my big was not big compared to like the standard big, I guess you could say. Like I'm not someone that was being dramatic and being like, oh my days, I'm so big, when I was still slim. But I obviously wasn't like, I didn't have like a large amount of weight on me. Like my frame is quite small naturally, so even the weight that I did have, though it was visible, it wasn't anything too crazy basically. But yeah, to get back to the point that I actually even wanted to make in the first place, these people are not my age mates, so I obviously can't tell them about themselves and be like,
you're big too, you're bigger than me, me and you are literally twinning right now.
But I can't say that to you because you're not my age mate. So if I say anything along those lines now, then it's going to become politics, and I honestly can't be able to deal with any of that. To be honest, like, I like peace in this life. I like peace. And to be honest, if I'm keeping it real, like, some of them were actually telling me that I'd gained weight in a loving way. Like, it's not everyone that was telling me, oh, like, you're fat now. Even though, like I said, I didn't ask, but I respect people that can tell you that sort of thing, especially if they're like flagging it for the right reason, basically. But yeah, so that was the whole thing. Regardless, I do not like people speaking to me crazy. You should never have enough confidence to walk up to someone and say something like that. And it's just so insane, especially when you know that you're going to be offended by it. I just don't see the point. Like, I just don't see the point. Considering the fact that people felt confident enough to speak to me like that, I was like, yeah, this needs to change, because there's only so long I can let this run. So yeah, that's basically what motivated me to want to lose the weight in the first place. Okay, so what did I actually do to lose the weight? So to kind of continue the story time just a little bit, basically, by this point now, sorry, I need tea. Oof, love it. Okay, so by this point now, I am actually in my study abroad / placement year. Just to add a bit more context to the situation. So everyone saw me during my 6 months placement, which was first, and then I was traveling to Madrid for my 6 months study abroad. By this point now, I have packed up my bags and I've traveled to Madrid. Okay, so this is all happening in Spain, in Madrid. My weight loss journey, by the way, not the whole like fat shaming. That was all in the UK where the bad vibes are, obviously. So thankfully, I am now shipped out to Madrid. I've escaped the UK. So I'm basically just gonna like number the steps that I did and then explain them a little bit to kind of flow through each thing, but then also add a bit of context, obviously. The first thing that I did was I set targets indirectly. I essentially bought a bunch of clothes that just didn't fit me, which I know sounds like self-hate, honestly. Like, even thinking about it, I don't know why I did that, but the clothes were cute. Like, they were nice clothes and they didn't fit. They didn't have like any clothes in the size that I was at the time, which is probably like a size 12 or 14, I think more like on the 14-ish side slightly. So yeah, the place that I went to, they didn't really have those sizes of clothes, and so basically I was buying the clothes in my old size, which was like size 8 and 10, which is what I wore most of the time. I bought the clothes basically and I was like, these don't fit, and they used to fit and they would have fit if I didn't gain weight. Second thing that I did was I did a bunch of HIIT exercises. So basically there was a gym called Ultra Fitness that was like 5 minutes away from my place. I don't know how to use any gym equipment, by the way. Like, I basically booked the exercise classes that they had, and from those I would basically just join about 3 to 4 times a week. This was early in the morning, so like before my lectures or anything. From that I would basically join the HIIT classes and do those frequently, basically every week more or less, without fail. And this was a massive game changer and helped me lose so much weight. Like, I didn't even do the HIIT thinking that it was going to do that much for me, but it did wonders. Like, this was probably the main source of my weight loss. And another thing as well is it really humbled me, because when I first joined, I didn't realize how unfit I was at that time, especially considering that I used to be an athlete and I was doing like 100 meters and relay. Guys, I could not do any of the exercises when I first joined, like none of them. This is the thing as well, when you're in a class, obviously everyone's looking in this like massive mirror, and so you can just see like everyone's progress, I guess, or ability to like copy what the teacher was doing. So obviously I'm there now, and there's like old people in my class. Like, there's like 70, well, let me not say 70, maybe like 60-year-old people in my class, and they're doing the exercises, guys. They're doing them and they're doing them well. And I was like panting and dying. I'd be standing there like this and be like, like the entire, let me not say the entire time, but like, I was tired, okay? Like, I could not do the exercises, and that was super humbling for me and also motivated me indirectly. So yeah, join HIIT classes if you're trying to lose the weight, because that will help you a lot. And the next thing that I did was, I think this is number 3 now. Yeah, so the next thing that I did was I started to drink green tea, which I will always advocate for. And then I also started to eat dinner a lot earlier. So I initially was eating dinner probably around like 7-ish at home in the UK, maybe like 7 or 8 p.m. Yeah, it just, like, the time that I ate dinner wasn't really something that I paid attention to. And then when I went to Madrid, I was like, right, I'm gonna start eating dinner a lot earlier. So now I eat dinner around like 5 p.m. or I ate dinner around like 5 p.m. and I've kept that habit up till now. And when it comes to like drinking green tea and things like that, like, I'll drink it after I've had snacks, I'll drink it after my main meal, so like breakfast and dinner. And I also only eat twice a day, that's another thing as well. I'll eat a big breakfast and a big dinner, and then I'll just snack in between. Sorry, I just want to make sure I actually still have space inside my thingy, because I don't know what my camera is showing me, but it looks like I do, so let's continue. Okay, sorry if I'm slightly shifted because I ran out of space on my memory cards. Number 4. So I walked everywhere in Madrid. Okay, so Madrid has like excellent transport systems, but I basically walked everywhere regardless, unless I couldn't. Like from my train to Getafe to go to university, I obviously took the train, and then between the train station and the actual university though, I would just walk. So there was a lot of walking there, and then obviously just like in between for activities like shopping, meeting friends, I would walk when I could. And yeah, the weather was great as well, so like walking was honestly fine in Madrid. Obviously if you're in the UK, then I don't know if we can apply this because the weather sucks, but yeah, walking does miracles. Number 5, what I did was I took pictures. I think it's so important to track your progress, especially because losing weight can be so demotivating. It took a lot of time for me to get to where I was, like, and where I am now as well is even like maintaining it. It takes effort, it takes time. So being able to actually track your progress does wonders. It keeps you disciplined when you lack motivation, trust me. And yeah, like combining these things, before I knew it, I was like down by so many kilograms. And the funny thing is as well, I actually wasn't even tracking my weight in terms of like measurements because I didn't have a weight in my room or in my flat. So I was only using pictures, and yeah, before I knew it, I made like crazy progress. Like I remember there was even like one session in my class where the personal trainer, or the teacher or trainer that was doing the session, she like turned back to look at me and was like, is this girl actually doing this same exercise as me and keeping up with me this time? Guys, when I tell you I was dying, I was like, there was no more, I could not do it. And so seeing stuff like that was just, it was so motivational. Okay, so there's actually one more bonus point, which is point number 6, I believe, and this is core workouts. Doing core workouts literally changed the game. So by this point, I'm back in the UK now. Obviously, people can tell that I'm slimmer, but I'm not where I want to be. Like, I've still got kind of a bit of a side flab going on. I don't know if there's a word for that, but I'm just gonna call it side flab. And yeah, I wanted to get rid of that and like cut down and get like the, what's it called? I don't even know what it's called, but basically ab lines. Yeah, ab line, that's what they're called. So whilst I'm continuing every now and then to do HIIT workouts, I'm also focusing on ab workouts. By the way, guys, I did all this weight loss without using any equipment. When I got to the UK, I just bought a mat off of Amazon. I was using that to do my core exercises, and that's what changed the game for me, honestly, like just doing the core workouts. It got to a point where I stopped doing the HIIT workouts and just focused on the core workouts, and that was basically a wrap for me. Again, I was still, even though I was slimmer, tracking the progress, so I could easily see progress in Madrid. I could easily see my progress at university, because by this point as well, guys, I'm in my final year of university, and yeah, it was super insane. Okay, so what do I want to work on now? So like I said in my last video, I basically just want to work on getting my ab lines back. I basically had like, I think the best figure in terms of my ab lines when I was around the 55 kg mark, but that's what I'm trying to get back to now. Again, I'm not actually weighing myself, but I think that I can obviously visually see the difference whenever I exercise, so that'll be fine. Currently, I'm not honestly too bad in terms of my stomach, but the girl's been up to some big activities, and so my stomach isn't exactly where she needs to be. I think afterwards is when I'll focus on other things like my glutes and see where I want to go from there. Once I've kept that up consistently for maybe like a couple of weeks, like when I'm at my goal and staying consistent for a couple of weeks. Okay, so I really do hope that this information was useful to some of you at least, and it helps you if you are on your own weight loss journey as well. And I also really hope that you guys start to drink green tea, because it genuinely changed my life. I cannot emphasize this enough, and it is a hill that I will die on. Everyone around me knows green tea is my stuff, okay? So yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.